What is going on, miners, and welcome back to the Hobbyist Miner channel. Well, today we have a Rebtech build for you guys. I've actually gone ahead and rearranged some cards, and I'll show you over here. So this is our Juggernaut build. Right now it has 5 1060s mining Ethereum, 6 gig. We then have 3 1660 Ti's doing Ethereum. We have a 1080. We have another 1080, and finally our latest 3060 Ti. So I have 2 slots left in this rig. I actually have 2 cards on their way back from repair. One will be a EVGA 1060 6 gig card, and the other one is a Zotac Amp 1080 that'll finish out this rig. So that leaves me a few cards that I'm going to build right here. I'm going to do a build almost identical to this build, which has a Rebtech board here, and then we right now have 4, 5, 6, actually 5 1080s, and one of them is a, I'm sorry, start over there. We have 5 1080s, wow, 5 580s, and 1 590. So we're going to do a build just like this. HP power supply, Rebtech board, and our hanging rigs. We're going to do it right here. I bumped down our test rig down here. We don't have anything on it right now. So let's go ahead and go over what we're going to put in this build. So we're going to be powering the Rebtech board and the GPUs with a HP server power supply. This is a 1200 watt power supply on 240 volt. So that's what we're running it on. We will be running a Rebtech motherboard. I did buy this off of a community member. The only thing I don't have yet is the mSATA, so I am going to go ahead and use HIVEOS on USB, and then we'll swap it out with mSATA when it comes in. Rebtech boards, if you guys aren't familiar, are phenomenal boards. They're super hard to come by. The company does not have any in stock, and there's no stock in the foreseeable future with this shortage on capacitors and bare materials. But this board is awesome because it's everything. You have all your USB spots right up here, 8 total. You have your power, which is coming through PCIe, which will be powered directly off of our power supply. We have our memory, we have our CPU, heatsink, and fan, and finally mSATA here. On the back side of it, you have Ethernet, 3 USB, and HDMI. We will be using and hanging this, but not via zip ties. We will be hanging this via the Misfits Mining Rebtech hanger. So just like the GPUs that we have here that have GPU hangers to hang them from metal racks, Misfits Mining actually sells this hanger. See how it has a screw on this side and a screw on that side? It perfectly lines up with our Rebtech on our screw holes here and our screw holes there. So we will be going ahead and hanging the Rebtech board. I'm hoping to get another one of these for our other rig. We will be plugging this in traditionally for today and hooking it up to a voltage meter. This is a kilowatt voltage meter. If you guys need one, I'll put a link down below. We will be using extra length USB 3.0 A to A cables if our traditional riser cables don't work. These are a braided cable, and they're about a foot longer than the traditional cables that come with GPU risers. Speaking of GPU risers, we will be using the 8 capacitor current version GPU risers from the team over at gpurisers.com. We will also be utilizing PCIe as well. If you guys are interested, I have a code to get 10% off anything over on the GPU Risers store for US and for EU. If you use the checkout code TheHobbyistMiner, you'll get 10% off. So we have our GPU risers. We also will be using these splitters coming over to us from gpurisers.com. This is an 8 female to a 6+2 on each side. We'll be using those to power not only the GPU riser, but also our cards. Finally, we do have our PCI cables, PCIe, which is 8 to 6+2. That'll be connecting directly to these guys here, and these will be connecting back to our breakout board here. The cards that we'll be putting in this rig today are an EVGA GeForce RTX 3060. This is a version 1 nerfed. We will have an MSI 1660 Ti, a NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2060 Founders Edition, and finally, gifted to us from Red Fox Mining, sorry, we do have this lovely Aurorus, and this is Gigabyte 1070 Ti. We'll be mining Ethereum on all of these here. Possibly, I might be looking at some altcoins as well, especially when it comes to our 3060. So, give me a minute, guys, and we're going to go ahead and get this installed, and you guys will see this in the rack, fully completed, in just a few seconds. Alrighty, guys, so it has been 3 hours, I think, at this point, which is crazy. I actually was going to go ahead and film the entire setup using this GoPro Hero 8 with the chest clip and with the media mod to it. Chump Change XD and also Red Panda Mining recommended it, but I'm not super happy with the microphone quality, so I'm gonna have to play with that a little bit more in the future. And in my next build, I'm hoping that we can bring you guys a hands-free entire build from a chest mount, which I think will be fun. So let's go ahead and take a look at this guy. Excuse me. So here we are. Let's go ahead and turn off our fans here. I want to kind of explain a little bit more as to what we did. So turning off these fans, it'll definitely quiet down more. It'll get warmer, but that's okay. So we have our 580s up here with our 1590. Down here we have our 1070, our 2060, our 1660 Ti, and finally our 3060 version 1 nerfed. As we can see here, we have our Rebtech board off to the side, and then we also have our power supply back in here. So instead of giving you guys like a video of step by step, I'm going to plug this cable in, I'm going to plug in this riser, I'm going to do this, do that, I thought I'd take a little extra time and give you guys a little more explanation. I ran into a ton of challenges with this build, hence why it took me so long. So using a Rebtech board on AMD is super easy. Using a Rebtech board on NVIDIA is very challenging. And the reason is I got everything wired up and good to go. You know, that wasn't a problem, that wasn't a challenge. I had a little bit of trouble with like getting in my GPU hangers because all this cabling from the build up above. Same thing with the Rebtech board, getting that in place there. But that wasn't really the excuse me, end of the world. I did end up using the braided USB cable for these two due to the distance. And then these two, we used what came with the GPU risers, which is your traditional rubber USB cable. So some things that we ran into and some things to kind of keep in mind. So after we got everything wired up, which I took my time with, using these wire racks with the GPU hangers with the Rebtech boards. I mean, take a look, see how clean this is and clean this rig is, but then take a look at like this rig. And take a look at like this rig. See how much of a mess that is? So the Rebtech boards are definitely worth it. So if you are selling your Rebtech board and willing to sell it to me at MSRP or around MSRP for not crazy scalper prices, please reach out to me. I'd love to purchase more Rebtech boards and do more builds with the Rebtech boards. So let's talk about this a little bit more. So the reason you have issues with the NVIDIA with the Rebtech boards is two configurations, And I'll throw them up on the screen right now. I actually had to scour the internet to kind of find these configurations. You need to go in and within the BIOS, so you actually have to disconnect all your cards. You have to connect to your Rebtech board to, it has an HDMI port up here, and then you also have to connect the keyboard. And you have to go into the BIOS and you have to disable two settings. One of those settings is the onboard video, and swap that to external. And then there's also an AMD graphics that you have to disable as well. Finally, in addition to all that, there's a PCI setting that you have to enable the 64-bit bar support. And that allows you to finally boot the rig with NVIDIA cards. That took me well over an hour and a half to figure out. And then once I did that, my cards weren't booting. Like, they weren't showing up. Well, you actually have to use the back layer first with NVIDIA. So you see there's the back row. So it's actually, I guess that is port 2, 4, 6, and 8 that you have to use first instead of 1, 3, 5, and 7. So that really gave me a challenge and gave me a hard time, but it worked out well. We're up and running. We have 4 cards in HIVEOS right now. If we jump over here, by the way, this is the guy that actually on YouTube, I'll give him credit, Paul Pevyhouse. He's the one who actually has a video showing you exactly where to go to make these changes. I'll link it in the description below. But our Wolverine is the name of our rig now. We name all of our rigs off of X-Men. Up and running. We have our 3060, our 1070 Ti, our 1660 Ti, and our 2060. So let me go ahead and get some overclock settings in place, as well as determine what algorithms we want to mine, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so our Rebtech Wolverine rig is up and running. We have a lot going on here. I thought Wolverine was appropriate based off of just a hybrid type of setup. That's what kind of influenced me here. And I think a lot of what the flight sheets assigned to this and the algorithms that will be mined on each of the cards will fluctuate a lot between Ravencoin, between Auto Lycos, and with Ethereum. So let's go ahead and take a look. So right now we are mining Ravencoin on our RX3060. This is the version 1 nerfed from EVGA. It is doing 23.34 mega hash right now on Ravencoin. When we look at our 1070 right now is actually mining Flux. Flux isn't the highest when it comes down to the top few algorithms to mine. I think it's number 3 or 4 in the list, but I want to build my Flux wallet a little bit, and the 1070 Ti is the best one out of the group to go ahead and do that. 1660 Ti, it's a no-brainer. That thing is mining Ethereum 31.31. And finally, our 2060. Believe it or not, right now, I thought I'd be looking at Ravencoin or Ergo, but when I checked tonight, actually this morning, September 2nd, it's wee hours in the morning, almost 2 a.m., it's doing almost 32 mega hash on the 2060. So, a little bit of everything. Kapow, EcoHash 125.4, and ETH hash right now, but looking pretty good. So let me go ahead and bounce over to our voltage meter. I don't want to forget about that. And let's go ahead and look at our final wattage. Okay, so let's take a look here and see what our final wattage is for this Wolverine rig. So we have our Rebtech board, our 3060, our 1660 Ti, our 2060, and our 1070 with the 1200 watt HP power supply. Taking a look at our voltage meter here. Hang on, I do need to change it over to watts. Yep, there, that's volts. We'll get it. Watts, there we go. Yep, we're watts, yep. 530. So we'll say 530. So 530 watts on this entire setup. Not too shabby for what we're going ahead and doing. The 1660 is definitely the most efficient when it comes down to 31 to 32 Ethereum mega hash and having a significantly lower, right down around 65 to 70 watts total. Well guys, that's it. A little bit of a rough video and build today, but I'm happy it's finally done. You guys will be getting this much later in the day tomorrow, Thursday, just because of all the challenges and not getting a chance to edit this tonight. But if you guys enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Take care.